Pop, 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 pop.
No.
Thank you for the 28 bucks.
Zing.
I didn't realize I was subscribed for that long. My mod, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
All right. Woo. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's go! Woo!
Give me a sec.
Yeah! Woo! 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 Woo!
Gary?
Hello?
He said, give me a sec, right when stream starts?
Anybody?
Timing is impeccable.
Hello?
Oh, there we go. I can hear that now.
Okay, I need to stop this. How do we stop it?
There it is. Hello. What is this one? Oh, nope. Yay. Okay. All right.
Okay.
He's back.
I bet my mom asked me for something.
Oh, hold on.
Help the mother. Water.
He needs the milk.
He needs some milk. All right, guys. Hello, everybody. Everyone has their screen so bright. I don't want to do mine so bright. It's so bright.
Do you want me to tone it down? You want me to go dark for you?
Yeah.
There's just going to be a lot of light in the background because the living room's bright.
Striking. Oh my god. You can see my eye bags. Oh my god. I'm gonna go incognito like this. What's up, everybody? Oh.
Be like, what's up, guys? How you doing?
What's up, everybody?
The lady's all right.
Hey, you lady, alright. Oh my god, dude, I'm so sick.
You
My voice
ladies
can do
alright?
that.
You ladies alright? Today, I'm gonna be, incognito.
I'm gonna be alright.
Okay.
Okay. Hello. We're having too much fun. Having too much fun with the dialogue.
Yeah, you're really hyper today.
Where's the Coke? Stop giving me soda. I feel like a child with soda.
Oh, so
You are a
thank
child, but when you get called child though, you get triggered.
Yeah, don't call me a kid. Ain't no kid. Ain't
But
younger
it's
than
the Coke.
You get hyper off Coke? That's wild.
Yeah, man. Sugar ain't anything for me.
Are you caffeine sensitive?
Yes, that's why I don't drink coffee. I hate
I'm
coffee.
gonna give you a Red Bull, see what happens.
Coffee also tastes like
It's ugly.
mud water, so I don't like to drink coffee.
You take that back.
You only drink your own coffee.
It's delicious.
Yeah,
Mud
look, he's drinking
water.
Coffee right now. Look at him.
Yeah, how much sugar did you pack in that thing? Yeah, that's what I thought. Cause
Actually, I don't. I actually drink my drinks dark.
oh dang, mud water for sure.
It's like it's straight cold brew. It's a Trenta cold brew
Did my brother
with,
make it?
with oat milk. No, bro, I don't go to your one.
Should
Oops.
get free drinks.
Oat milk, and vanilla syrup. But it's very,
Dang.
very dark.
Oat milk is good. Oat milk is always good.
Uh huh.
Where is that thing?
Did you know that a lot of the alternatives to milk, they have a lot of like inflammatory, so like
yikes.
you're most likely gonna bloat even though you're not drinking actual milk.
Ew. He got that Trenta. Chat said he got that Trenta.
I got that Trenta, bruh. A Trenta. Look at how big it is compared to my face.
I was just gonna say oat milk is inflammatory. Ah ha 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 ha.
All of them are oat milk, almond milk, coconut milk.
Yeah.
Like,
Almond
what's
milk's
the
my
difference between coconut milk though and coconut water? Like,
Coconut milk has additives to it, like sugar and all this other stuff. Like
what's up, brother? How's it going,
fructose
syrup?
corn syrup. And then coconut water is literally just the water straight from the coconut.
How
Damn,
do you
you're
milk
tuning in
what?
from the shower.
Huh?
Yeah, how do you milk a coconut, bro?
I-
Is it just
So
you're
you-
doing it for the shower?
First you gotta go
Oh,
like
boy.
this, and then you gotta go sweet squeeze. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze.
What?
what? Isn't there such probably? There's probably such thing as melon milk then, if we're talking
Root
about
milk.
that.
No such thing. It is melon juice.
You should create it.
Bologna juice.
I can't, dude.
No, not the additives. Why
is
would you
milk,
say
one is
that?
water.
You made me say it in freaking milk is the coconut meat put in a cheesecloth and pressed.
You read it in a Filipino accent, bro.
I know, cause she
Not the
typed,
additives.
coconut water is the water juice inside a coconut. That's literally what I just said. All right. Welcome to Transparency Thursday. I just want to give out the disclaimer as we always do before we start. I just want to let you all know, if you are out there listening, one day, today, yesterday, and tomorrow, we are doing this out of purely based on our own opinions, unfiltered, raw, uncensored, and we are not here as experts of anything. So please take it with a grain of salt. But if the shoe fits, you might be the problem. That is what Transparency Thursdays is all about. So please.
I don't know. I think I might be an expert in this field.
Sheesh. Today's topic, or tonight's topic, is chivalry dead? Yes. Is chivalry dead? But let's find out. Let's find out why from our gang. What's up, crew? This is the Alpha Sigma Sigma. What's up? What's up, bros and sis? Wolfpack. Whoop whoop. I'm just kidding.
I can't do it. I'm gonna get Milo excited.
Too much.
Oh,
Too
Too
much-
I-
too much
I already,
soda.
I already did it. I already did it. I need him to calm down. That's why he
Yeah.
has his calming chew right now.
All right.
Those at your face.
And tonight's episode, Fears is eating. What are you eating, bro? Fries?
Burgers and fries. It's actually my meal prep.
Nice. Burgers and fries. That's what's up. What are you drinking there, Laura May? Is that a little bit of Tito's up in that, or?
Lemon water.
Oh, lemon water. Shoo. I thought we were
Alright.
getting it
Also
started.
known as lemonade.
Lemonade.
Or is it not?
Just lemon
No.
water. No sugar.
Just like
Yeah,
water.
what
with
is
just
the
lemon.
difference?
It's
But
lemon.
it has lemon inside. It's sugar automatically.
How do you?
No.
What's the difference with lemonade and lemon and water?
That's what I want to know. Because I'm pretty sure people dilute their lemonade with water.
Yeah.
And lemonade has a lot, like a a lot of sugar.
But
Inside
Have
the
you ever
lemonade,
had
there's
lemonade?
sugar in it.
I
Oh,
don't
it's on
like
Sunday.
I
on
don't like
Chick-fil-A.
lemonade. Lemonade's
You're my
just
Chick-fil-A.
but yeah, let's get to the topic. Is chivalry dead? Let me start off actually with the definition of chivalry. Um, so the historical meaning of chivalry or being chivalrous, it dates back to French chivalry, meaning like the knights and noblemen and horsemen collectively. It's the ideal knight that have the combination qualities expected of a knight based off of courage, honor, courtesy, justice, and readiness to help the weak. So that word came from that. That was rooted from that in history, which then became a distinguished or defined meaning for men being gentlemen, approaching and respecting women righteously.
I think that's a really hot take, though.
Yeah.
Because in the definition, I didn't know that was the original definition for one. For
Mhm.
two, in the original definition, it says in ancient times about how a knight protects the weak.
Yeah.
So, like,
Pero like,
but like
But the
the
English
ancient
changed
chivalry
it.
just instantly assumed like women are like weak or something, because like that's what it is right now. Like, I'm not saying women are weak, but I'm saying like the expectation is that the guys are chivalry.
but I think in the historical aspect of it, it's not just like based off of knights protecting women, but so more so like the weak, like the everyday people, like the people that are being mistreated in injusticely or whatever, the poor, the kids, all that stuff, like
Mhm.
the disabled, etc., etc. Like that is what they mean about being a chivalrous knight.
Mhm.
But again, now like a person that is chivalrous is defined majorly as a man, not necessarily any other gender, but a man itself, to be polite, honest, fair, and kind towards women. So that's
You
a
just read that,
very,
didn't you?
very yeah. Well, that's literally why I'm
I
looking.
just read that. I'm reading it right now. I'm reading some right now
Yeah.
too.
So it's a very interesting thing because I got a lot more thoughts up in this. But what do you guys think? Chivalry dead.
It's a hard one to say. It's a hard one to say
Let's
because like
start
we
off
both.
with Laura May. What do
Oh,
you
okay.
think?
I do not think chivalry is dead. I think it's rare, but I don't think it's dead. I think it is all in perspective. Because if if someone thinks that chivalry is dead and they have that thought, then there's going to be confirmation bias where they see all these things and then they're just going to pick out the things that confirm whatever thought that they have, if that
And
makes
we're
sense.
bringing out HR terms here.
I know, dude.
HR terms.
All my trainings, dude.
HR terms. HR terms.
Wait, what about that is HR though?
Confirmation bias.
Oh,
Confirmation bias is so HR.
I thought it was more of like a psychological thing. Like, if you have a thought, you're like, a negative thought, you're just gonna pick out those negative views and just whatever that is, it confirms whatever that you have. But yeah, I don't think that it's dead. I think it's rare, and there are men out there that can be gentlemen, but there's a big population where they're not.
Would you say that it's rare in your life? Like that's why you say it's rare?
I mean, I feel like, like you guys said, like you feel like chivalry is dead, and I feel like a lot of people think that, but I don't think that. I think, I have faith in like guys, and I have, even like it doesn't have to be like a romantic interest or anything. I also have guy friends that are very gentlemen, like that will open doors and like make sure that I'm okay and everything. Yeah, I don't think that it's dead, just rare. And I have gone on dates where there are gentlemen, and then there are dates where they just don't seem to be considerate of things at all.
Or they're just being real. Because the men that usually try to act like they're chivalrous during the first dates are, trying to impress. That's my thought. But chat said that boy is gentleman. Is a gentleman. I don't know who that boy is, but I think
Basil.
we might know we
I
might know who that
that
is.
boy you're talking
That
about.
boy is a gentleman for sure.
That
Um,
boy. He's
What
a
about him
gentleman.
as a gentleman, though? Just curious.
What was that? Sorry, can you repeat
What?
What what about him as a gentleman though? Just curious.
that? His stature. He's so demure, you know, like
Oh my god.
No.
so gentle, so kind,
So cutesy.
so thoughtful,
So
uh,
mindful.
so mindful, so
Very
demure,
demure.
very demure. Um, Fears. What do you think on in your perspective? Chivalry. What do you think?
Honestly, I think it's like a 50-50 because you see like there's like for me, you know, I'm brought up my dad. My dad's pretty old school. My mom, so there's a lot of like respect when I growing up and learning. Even though I was like not that way growing up, but like as I got older, there's more respect can happen. And like you see, like there's like certain people, they're just like they just won't. Like I've seen it even at work, even like when I go places, it's like they won't help at all. It's like they stand um when I was at when I was at my family reunion when I was in Washington this 4th of July, um, there were some people I didn't know or I haven't seen in so long that I like kind of like talked to, but like one of them, I some reason I don't remember this, but I used to call him the Eastwood man, and he's very elderly, but like I still like when he would want to walk places, I still helped him because I always try to help anybody that I can. But there's like guys that I see that are just like they just like stare at them. Like an elderly person drops something, I like see him like just looking down at them, like doesn't want to help.
Are you waving?
Like yeah, like that's how I feel like some people are when they like the common like courtesy of like the simple things. They don't want to help with like simple things. There's like so for me it's like 50-50 because I see some people help, but then I won't see people help.
What
So
would
it's
what would you consider like simple things that a chivalrous man should be doing, or like a chivalrous person? Actually, I don't even want to define it as just a man, but a chivalrous
yeah,
Yeah,
person.
what do you think is
I
the expectations of chivalrous?
Yeah, because what do you mean? Yeah, because what were you defining as that, like those simple things? What are simple things?
it could be like, oh, someone dropped something, like especially like in like for me, like I like especially like the elderly, I always try to help because it's like I know it's hard for them, like either or like even anybody, pretty much anybody that I see that need help, like even like buying food for a homeless person. You know what I'm saying? Like those simple things that I'm not saying we could have to do like buy a homeless person something all the time, but like
Yeah, yeah.
I usually like when I get the chance I do. Like if I have something, I'm like I know I won't finish it. Like it's like I never opened it, so I was like, let me just give it to like this homeless guy right next to me. I'm pretty sure he
Is
saw
that
me
what
and
I
wanted something.
am?
Yeah, yeah,
You gave
pretty
me the
much.
leftover bento box?
Hey, you ate it though, huh?
Dang, helping the weak, huh?
It was delicious though, I'm not
Sheesh.
gonna lie.
You
It was
still ate
delicious.
it, so don't say anything.
Thank you for
But
that.
it's
Kindness.
it's just pretty much kindness, politeness,
Interesting. So 50
helping the
50.
Demure.
weak, like elderly, like they can't do much. So
Well,
What about in a situation with another guy? Like, do you think
yeah, a guy being nice to a guy.
that's perfectly fine. Like
but
I
what does
mean,
that look like in terms of chivalry?
But does that exist?
would you call it chivalry still? Is what you're trying to ask?
It's yeah. Actually,
I
yeah.
mean, I feel like yeah. I still feel like yeah, because there's still the terms of. I mean, I know it says towards women, but I feel like now it should be towards everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like it should. I guess back in the days of like those times, I think that definition you read was like the 1200s. I think.
Hmm.
So back in those times, it was mainly the not trying to say anything, but the women were kind of like considered the weak because of how everything was portrayed. Now it's like
Yeah.
there's more like kind of like I need help right now, guys. I'm losing it.
No, like women are able to do more now. Like
Yeah, like
women's suffrage exists.
there is less
Um,
a limit. Like the limits for women are like not as bad as they were back in the
yeah, they
day.
have more
So it's like
rights.
yeah. So it's like I fish like so it's be like on equal terms in kind of way. So I feel like it's
So what does that look like? So like you're saying like women are a little bit more obviously a lot more empowered now, which is great. Feminism is great, but like how does chivalry play into feminism or feminist culture? Because the whole thing with feminist culture is like woman empowerment and
Yeah.
equal rights, right?
Like,
So
yeah.
how does chivalry jump into equal rights? Who's really supposed to be the chivalry one in that circumstance? Because if they want equal rights, then like,
Yeah,
Gotta
Lord.
go both ways.
Yeah,
can you
Lord.
open the door for me?
What are your thoughts, Laura May, on that?
I'm gonna need some time to think about that.
Yeah, because I want to hear that definitely from a woman's perspective. The reason why I mean your argument to it earlier was that obviously if you disagree that chivalry is dead, or if you don't believe that chivalry is still alive and it's dead, it's the confirmation bias because you have your opinions, blah 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 blah, based off of like things that you're gonna justify with. But that's the same thing as the opposing side. Like someone is gonna say chivalry is still alive based on confirmation bias, because this experience happens to me and it exists, blah blah blah, in my life. But the reason why I believe it's completely dead and chivalry, even the term itself, should not exist, is because of feminism, like the feminist movement and women empowerment. It's that idea that like a lot of women now take chivalry as something to be creeped out about. Oh no, he's not being nice. He's being a creep. No, let's tell us as, like they're just being nice because they want something from me. Like they always turn it into, and I say they because I say a lot. I'm not generalizing, all women do this. But in this idea, there are a lot of women out there that will try to do that. Will say like, this guy is not being nice. This guy has intentions behind the kindness. There's going to be something like an underlying
Or
factor
it
to
feeds
it.
into like ego or something like that.
Yeah,
Like, oh, he definitely wants my number if he opens
like
the door
he
for
just
me.
he has intentions.
And it's like,
Yeah,
it's not that big of a deal. I'm
like
just opening a door.
how can a man be chivalrous when a woman out there will chat is saying chivalry is dying out because genuine feminist women are dying out. Yes, I agree. That's a good one. Chivalry is dying out because genuine feminist women are dying out. Chat, if you can elaborate a little bit more on what you mean by genuine feminist women. That's a great way for us to kind of discuss, because that's my argument to that, is that chivalry does not exist. Because if we bring it out, not just a man to a woman, but let's say like in non-genders, in all genders and non-genders. Like, let's say if a gay man and is having a partner, like how do you define chivalry in that relationship? Who is being the one chivalrous to the other person? Where does that lie? Like, what's the underlying factor to that? Or in a lesbian relationship, if two women are dating each other, who's the one that's supposed to be chivalrous? Like, is it supposed to be still based off of the idea of like the past historical meaning that a man should be doing something for a woman? Because now, if we bring it to the LGBT community, like, okay, like what is that? You can't define just a man to a woman kind of thing of being chivalrous. Right now, there's going to be a lot of people that will talk, and these woke people are going to say, no, like that's
Yeah, it's
not
all the
right.
different identities, they, them.
It's not fair. You can't be saying that a man is the only one that can be kind or that should be kind to women. But like, what about us? We should be treated nicely too. It's not very demure. It's not thoughtful. It's not kind. I really hate that thing, so I just keep using it. But
Oh my gosh,
uh,
it's a tangent, dude.
That word is gonna get to me like disconnect did before.
But that is why I do not believe chivalry exists anymore. Not as in the sense that because men are no longer nice to people, but it's because there's a lot of things that get shut down and turned a complete opposite way when they're trying to do something out of kindness or just morally out, just to be morally just. That is my meaning of chivalry being dead. There's no reason for it. There's no reason to define it. It just doesn't exist in today's society because a lot of things can turn it upside down. But yeah, I want to hear it from a woman's perspective. I got a
That was
comment
just a
from the
mic
it's
drop,
not
dude.
demure, it's not kind. Um,
Not too.
I
Oh
want to
my
hear
god.
from Lorme, from you, Lorme. Like that question we had of what was it again? What we were trying to identify?
What
Wes?
is it? What is it?
Oh, in
What
the
does it look like
yeah,
in like with feminism and everything like that?
yeah,
What does it look like in like a homosexual relationship?
yeah, or yeah, in a LGBT community, or in in a feminist perspective, or the feminist woman empowerment movement, all that stuff. What is
Yeah.
chivalry like? What is that definition in that category aspect?
I mean, for me, I would just like to think of it as like someone who can take initiative and like take the lead and like put in effort. Like when I think of chivalry, I think of like, opening doors or walking on the right side of the sidewalk. Just like, I don't know, simple gestures like that. Because like for example, I've gone on dates where they want to open all doors for me. Like they won't let me get out of the car and they'll like just want to like go around the car and like open the door and everything like that. But then there'll be other guys who will just be like, "Oh, I don't see like what the point is if you could just open the door yourself and I'll like save that time." And it's like, "Yes, I can do that for myself, but it's like the intention that comes with it, I would say."
Do you believe you're a strong, independent woman?
I believe that I'm a strong independent woman, but I want
But
to be with someone that um can like make me feel taken care of. Um
okay,
I would say that I yeah, I don't know. I think, I like to be someone that's like feminine, and in my femininity, I want to be able to, I guess, inspire a man to be in his masculine, to be able to be chivalrous and treat me that way.
I like that. But what if?
What about like do you is that something you specifically look for? Do you expect chivalry?
I don't expect it. Like, I will just, for example, if I go on a date, like, I'm not gonna just be like, I'm just gonna like wait at the door and be like, so, are you gonna open the door for me? Like, if they don't
But is
do
that
it,
like a red flag, green flag type of thing, or it's like a bonus?
it's something that like I will look out for, and then I'll like observe other things, and then if that person doesn't, it's not like I'm not going down like a checklist or anything, but I look for those things because I'm a very intentional person and I want to know that they're intentional and thoughtful the way that I am too.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Chat is saying, it's the highlight of our strength as men that we're supposed to be soft with our women and be hard to the world. But the new feminist, this is the one in the response to that. What is a genuine feminist woman? So, but the new feminists nowadays in today's generation are being hard women and hard to the men they date. So there's no balance. Um, I totally see that. I totally see that aspect of like there are these women that like, no, don't open doors for me. I don't need you to open these doors for me. Like I'm a grown woman. I don't need that
I
soft
think it's
shit.
confusing.
Yeah, like I don't need that soft shit. Right? Like I'm a strong independent girl. Like I don't need you to be soft on me. Like and that's the thing too. It's like there's no balance for men to understand like that factor, because it always feels like men are always trying to play as a sidekick. Like they were supposed to expect to read women's minds all the time. We're supposed to know when they expect something from us, when they want us to do nice things for them, or when we shouldn't and come off creepy instead, or whatever, or sus. And that's hard. So that's the reason why now there's like no balance, like where men in today's society are like, I can't even, like men will say like, I can't even approach a woman genuinely at like like a public space anymore, and just like be open and kind to them and compliment them for what I believe that they are to me and how I see them, without seeming like they're catcalling or like being creepy. Right? There are no genuine compliments that can be given anymore, because any compliment from a guy in a public space, because women are just out there to go to the clubs to have fun on their own and they're not there to impress men, like whatever. And so now men can't go to the club without like looking at someone and not be creepy. Or in the other ways, like a man can't open the door for someone without seeming like they have intentions beyond that. Um, so
How about the circumstance where it's like you're already in a relationship and you have el taxica, who's very jealous, let's say.
Yeah.
You open the door for her, and then like another girl like passes by, so you just keep the door open, and you like open the door for that girl. Your girlfriend like gets upset with you or something like that. Is that okay?
I would
It's not
say
okay
no.
for the girlfriend to be upset.
I mean, like, I understand, but I would say, like, it's whatever, because at least he's being kind, you know? I wouldn't want him to just, like, push her out and then shut the door and just be like, sorry, my girlfriend's gonna get mad at me, you know? Like, it's just a kind gesture.
Cyrus has definitely done that.
Cyrus is like, I know that feels.
I can't be
He's
sure.
like, oh shit.
I can only be chivalrous to my partner.
Oh,
You don't exist
no.
in my life. You're unimportant.
I don't know.
Um,
I think it's just a kind gesture, and it's okay. You know, it's okay to be like kind to everyone. It's not like you're opening the door for her and like staring like at her up and down. It's an intention behind it, I would say.
What is that laugh, Cyrus?
Chat is saying you can only open doors for your girl. Okay, close doors on all other girls.
There we go.
Yeah,
There we
yeah,
go.
but
There it is.
That's a jealous girlfriend right
but
there.
it's a joke. It's a joke. But someone else in chat
Confirmation
said
bias.
Confirmation.
Confirmation bias.
someone else in chat said no because a true gentleman would not only be kind to his girlfriend but to other people as well. That is crazy. Chat said that is crazy. Um, yeah,
That's
no.
crazy.
Yeah. A true gentleman should be kind to all other people.
I think it also goes along without saying like I think the expectations that women have of the definition of chivalry is a little bit different too in this day and age because it's not just door opening.
It's not
It's
just
like,
those small things.
oh, you're paying for the meal.
Yeah, like that's chivalrous now. Like that's women
If he doesn't pay for the
expect.
meal, it's not chivalry. Oh, if like he's not paying for the whole entire meal, he didn't offer to get me a drink. That part, that's the part that's like
I really
it's
like
just
this.
entitled. It's
There's-
not even chivalrous because it's like
Yeah.
if I want to do it and out of kindness, then it's like yes, like I'm gonna offer it. But then if it's like if it doesn't even come to my mind that you want a drink, what?
Yeah.
What?
I really love our chat is being super active. There is a perspective from a man saying you have to work 10 times harder now than your grandfathers for women that are 10 times worse. Um,
Oh
uh,
damn, that's a hot take.
It's a really hot
is
take, which
definitely a hot
is
take.
it's crazy because there are a lot of experiences that I feel men in my life in certain parts, like my friends and stuff, have experienced something that's relative to that. It just seems like they get in constant toxic relationships because it's also harder now to find women who are genuinely like have pure intentions to want the balance in that relationship, to be able to let a man feel okay being themselves, but at the same time to be a gentleman towards their partner and towards others. Right. And then there are a lot of people that are defining what chivalry is. Like someone in the chat said, I think chivalry means respect in plain terms. And someone else had said, I agree. Being a gentleman is embedded within someone's personality. Some are and some are not.
Some are
and-
just not raised.
And then someone said the person above someone was responding to the man's perspective, saying that that's something that Andrew Tate would say. I think that's a hot take for both sides. I don't fully agree. I never Andrew Tate. We're not gonna get into the topic of Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate is irrelevant. He is not a man. I don't care what people say. I don't agree with Andrew Tate's values. There are some things that kind of make sense, but to me, his way of logic and his way of thinking does not align with me as a person
It's
and as a man.
misogyny.
It's very misogynistic. But I don't believe entirely that person that had said you have to work 10 times harder than your grandfather's now for a woman 10 times worse. I don't believe that is a very like misogynistic thing to say. I just believe it's not a general. I hope that they don't mean it in a general perspective that all women are 10 times worse now. I think it's more of the perspective of an experience. That's why I was kind of relating it to like men in my life who have experienced that, where they get in these toxic relationships over and over again, and they're thinking to themselves like, why am I working so hard for someone like her who just mistreats me anyways? Why do I have to be a gentleman and get on my knees and kiss her feet, wash her feet, and do all these things for her just to be mistreated because I'm supposed to be just nice to you, just because I'm the man? I think, like someone in chat said, no, that's entitlement. And I totally agree in that perspective. So in that situation, like that chivalry, it's a very interesting thing. And and chat was saying, the one that said something about the 10 times worse. No joke. I was really into this also woman. All the chivalry was given. She then said I was love bombing and I had no idea what was even going on. And there we go, the love bombing part. Like, when is chivalry and when is too much? Like, when is it too much for a woman?
But is it love bombing if you realize that it's love bombing?
Yeah, like,
Or is that insecurities?
I think women now aren't impressed as much by chivalry because we can now mostly take care of ourselves due to how far feminism has come. And then this same person was kind of just reassuring the other person in the chat. Sounds like she wasn't emotionally ready for a relationship, and the man was right in this perspective. And that's a great take. And then and someone else in the chat was responding again to the person that had made the comment about the woman. Were you being too pansy? And he responded with not at all. And someone is agreeing. He was just being mistreated. And again, I think it's based off of that. But let's go back to that love bombing part. I want to ask Fears in this situation. Fears, I know you are a man of God, so you're saving yourself for the one and only holy. But no, I know you want a woman in your life. But in your perspective, what is love bombing? Like, what do you define as love bombing versus chivalry?
Ooh. You might have to give me a second on that one. You might have to give me a second on that one.
Yeah. Or Laura May, if you have a perspective on that.
I would say it's kind of like conditional. Like you might be doing it for validation and just trying to like get that person to swoon for you. Yeah, just for validation, I would say.
But what if, as a man, my love language is gift giving, or my love language is acts of service? Is that love bombing? Like, I just
No.
constantly want to do things for you. I wanna wake up in the morning and make you breakfast in bed every day because it's just a thing that I know in my heart I want something to be as a core memory for us. Or what if every morning and every night I just give you a good morning kiss or a good night kiss? It's just my way of showing you my affection and how I care for you. Is that love bombing?
No, I don't think so. I think love bombing is like I said, it's like when you're kind of getting validation from it. And then, I think there's like a fine line between that because it'll be like love bombing is when, they'll say, I do all of these things for you and this is how you treat me, when you shouldn't really be
Mm,
expecting something
when
back from
yeah,
this.
when they're keeping tabs kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, what if in like a man's perspective, like they too get tired. Like we too get tired. We get exhausted where it's like we want reciprocation too. Like chivalry in that term or that definition of chivalry is that a man should be doing things for a woman. A man should be doing all these honorable things and justifiable, polite kindness and all this stuff for a woman. But it's not like a knight back in the day didn't, end their night and be like, damn, I want to do that again the next day. That shit was amazing. I'm carrying all this fucking stainless steel shit and whatever iron mail, and I'm fucking carrying tons of weight every day in the scorching sun because I just love fucking serving the weak. Like, do you think that like that's like asking for validation? Like, like I think sometimes too, like men get exhausted and we want validation for the good deeds that we do. And there's nothing wrong for expecting something in return.
Yeah, but then you should communicate about it, not be sassy about it.
I maybe for this experience, like with the person that was love bombing their partner, and then the partner was saying like, okay, yeah, now you're just doing too much. you're love bombing me, you're not actually being chivalrous. Like, do you think it's that man's fault, or do you think it's the woman's fault in that situation?
Do you think it's a lack of communication?
It's a lack of,
I
yeah.
think it could be a lack of communication and like just her perspective. Maybe in a past experience, she was love bombed. So maybe just him treating her that way kind of like triggered her.
Traumatized.
Yeah, and it's like
Traumatized.
Yeah.
triggered. She's like, oh shoot, am I gonna be going through the same thing again? And maybe, she was just not emotionally available and ready for the relationship.
I like that. Yeah, because there are some women in the chat that are saying like that absolutely sucks for the man, because it's probably better that they didn't end up with her anyways, because if they genuinely liked you, they would appreciate all the good things that you were doing for them. And that same man was actually saying like love bombing happens late in a relationship, in my opinion. And I can agree into that aspect. Someone said in the chat, sorry. Someone said in the chat she didn't match his freak. That threw me off so badly.
I've heard it too. I
She
wanted to
didn't match his
laugh, but I
freak
was
is
like,
crazy. Early stages,
it's
honeymoon
true.
phase, it's impossible to tell. Yeah, the honeymoon phase, it's very impossible to tell. Because I think in a honeymoon phase, there's a lot of kind of you're impressing the other person constantly. But that goes on both ends. The woman is also doing some sort of impressing. They're always caking up, always putting their best fits, doing the best that they can, show the best that they can to that man if they really like that man. And then when you get comfortable in the relationship, like they wake up later in the day rather than waking up early to go do their makeup for the man, and all those other things.
Okay, but what about like the situations where like people are just there to have like a good time and they're not looking for a relationship and they don't communicate that?
mm,
Like guys will be chivalrous, not because they're gaining something out of it, but this is where I think it gets tiresome. Guys will be chivalrous because they're like, I want to be a respectable gentleman for like this date and like future dates, of course. But then like after the date, like it's a fine date and everything like that, but the girl doesn't want to commit, let's say, at all. Like that was their intention the whole entire time. I just want to get dinner. Free meal.
Yeah.
I can see why it's tiring.
yeah.
being
Yep.
played.
And I think chivalry, the definition of chivalry, I think has to come with emotional intelligence also. Because someone who is chivalrous understands how to communicate that kindness in a way that the intentions are understood on both sides, right? Someone who is chivalrous that, let's say, just wants to have a good time and just have fun with someone else with no intentions of dating or going further than that should already have acknowledged that in that aspect before going into that conversation or before going into that action of going on that date, so that the woman can feel comfortable and understanding of what the intentions really are underlying it, right? I think that's what I believe chivalry is like. To have emotional intelligence is important to be a chivalrous man or a chivalrous person. Chad is also saying, I think what's different now is that people might want to date without commitment, but back then people were dating to marry because women were more dependent on men. So now you have to be extra communicative about intentions. And again, that's the reason why chivalry comes with emotional intelligence. Because if you're not communicating properly the kindness, the respect, and the things that you want to do out of good intentions, then you're not really being chivalrous. Because you're not being honest, you're not being polite towards the person. That's how I see it. And someone said, I had a girl get mad for not smashing. I respected her too much, is what she said in response. Which is
What?
really crazy. Dating with no intention of moving forward is crazy to me. Someone who a woman in the chat has said that. That's such a waste of time. And again, see, like everyone has different perspective of things. I'm a very old-fashioned person, so I believe in that as well too. Dating with no intention of moving forward is very crazy. I don't believe in hookup culture. I've never really been fond of that kind of topic. Or that idea of like I just want to date to hook up, or I want to date to just feel good about something. Because to me, it's like I want to feel proud of being able to wake up the next day and being able to hook up with the same person every day of my life. I want to be able to wake up the next day and be proud that I want to feel something with that one person for the rest of my life. That's how I value like dating or like being in a relationship. Um, and someone said, internet gives the idea of grass is greener mindset. Keep options open, which is really crazy. Like this is, grass is greener where it's artificial or something like that. Which is true. It's a really hot take. So
Do you know a Russell?
a Russell?
Cyrus?
Do I know a
Yeah.
Russell?
Yeah,
Uh,
because someone just rated my Twitch
yeah.
And it's
with
going
like
crazy.
29 viewers.
That's what's up.
You're at
Hello, chat.
37. What are you talking about?
I don't.
It's just showing 29 for me.
I don't know
This
who
is
a Russell
crazy.
is.
Russell
Right
Ray,
now.
Russell Ray, Russell Ray. My wife's boyfriend loves this stream.
Eh,
Appreciate it. Appreciate
that's
it.
awesome. Well, whoever you are,
My
42.
girl keeps getting annoyed at me. Okay, first off,
Yes,
this
bring
is
it
a
up.
podcast about Transparency Thursday. That's what it's called.
Yes, yes, yes.
This is simple opinions, purely opinions. This is not scientific or professional facts. Okay,
Yeah.
these are opinions on different matters, but it's Transparency Thursday, so we talk about like a little bit of like different things here and there without holding back.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We just want to
Um,
emphasize, yes, these are all just our opinions. We're not experts on anything. We don't know what the hell chivalry really is or where it came from. Well, we do understand it, but please share what you have in your chat. I know there's a lot of people sharing their thoughts too, so it's really great.
Uh-huh.
Much love from Kenya. Oh wow. I broke up with my girlfriend last night because I had a huge crush on this other girl. Today I found out she has a longtime boyfriend. That's L. I'm sorry.
That's oh god.
Yeah, see, like,
See, that's
I broke up with my girlfriend last night because I had a huge crush on this other girl. Today I found out she has a long time. Oh my gosh.
I'll be transparent. I'm a married man and I have a kid and I got caught going to a strip club and my wife kicked me out. What should I do?
Whoa.
oh
I think you need to tell the truth. That's another thing. We're not gurus over here, dude.
Yeah. We're
just
not
chilling and talking.
We're not psychiatrists here. We're not here to give advice. These are not professional advice. We are not financial advisors. We are not. I'm just kidding. Speaking of chivalry, do you guys support the? Whoa. What? All right, I think that's like a big troll. I'm not even gonna continue that one.
It's a troll.
it's a troll.
Yeah.
That one's a troll.
If she's happy, I'm happy. Okay. Yeah.
I need help, dude.
Is
I
anyone
have
else?
felt like
Oh
being-
no, yeah, that's a troll as well too. So yeah.
yeah.
But yeah,
Why not Uno reverse card her?
that's the opposite of chivalry. Why not Uno?
Why did you?
Hoagie.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get back on the subject.
Yeah, let's get back on the subject. I think that's my take on the chivalry aspect of it. Let's go back to the questions that I wanted or I had thoughts of wanting Fierce to respond to. What do you like in again in an aspect of a relationship? Let's bring it back to the relationship thing because I think chivalry has to
been a
do a
while.
lot. Chivalry has to do a lot with, I guess, your interaction with an opposing person, like an opposing gender or whatever it may be. Not opposing, but the opposite gender. Opposing is a complete wrong word. I apologize for using that. But the opposite gender, really, it's what being chivalrous is like. But what do you define that? How do you define that in a relationship? Like, what makes you chivalrous versus love bombing, or like doing too much for someone? I know Laura May had said it's like when you're keeping tabs about all the good deeds that you're doing for someone is when you're definitely like love bombing someone because there's an ill intent to it. There's always an expectation of something to reciprocate for it. But how do you define that, Fierce? Like
Well,
what
I mean,
is yeah.
there is a fine line between, like, I feel like chivalry is like, it's the basic stuff, but if you go too far with certain things, like, it's like asking when is too much, you know what I'm saying? It's like there is too much. If there's too much, it's love bombing, and sometimes it's just kind of emotionally, just not destroy, but like annoys and
Yeah.
your partner or whatever. there's like I said, there's a fine line in between chivalry and love bombing.
Mm.
Because well, I think an interesting factor was that someone in Cyrus' chat said that honeymoon phase is in the beginning and love bombing comes like late in the relationship.
Yeah.
But I think you could still love bomb in the beginning. Like obviously, I think if you're like on the second date, like you're saying like I love you and like here's
Oh.
a new car and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like what is that? I think that's love bombing,
That's
and that could very
crazy.
much be in the honeymoon phase.
Yeah, that's true. I agree in that. Someone in the chat. Oh, well, I'm gonna bring it up. I know you're okay with me mentioning it, but Trixiel had asked, did this topic come in because you men in the podcast feel that being chivalrous is not worth it anymore? No, actually, the topic was brought about because of another topic that we will continue on for the next episode, which is right now is about like doing all the positive things to someone in return, right? Like doing all the good things and feeling all the good things to your partner or the opposite gender, or genders and non-genders. But our next episode, which we will bring up again at the end of this podcast, is that we want to talk about things that are the negative aspects, like what is too much for a man or what is too much for a woman, and how do we feel when we're starting to feel uncomfortable in certain scenarios or certain situations, and what do we do about it? Because that's why we wanted to tie in chivalry and start off with chivalry. And someone in the chat had said. Yeah. Oh, hey, Drew. Thanks for coming in and thank you for listening. But someone else had said the chivalrous man is polite, honest, fair, and kind towards women. But where is that line drawn? How can you stay in that mindset if abuse happens nonstop? Oh, chivalry isn't dead, but it's definitely diluted. It's like anxiety, part of every disorder. Dang. That's crazy. Now, like, if we're getting into the topic of abuse, like, that that's true, like how can you be chivalrous to someone that may be abusing you or vice versa, like because if someone has the finances to buy a car on the first date, is that really love bombing? That's a question that they were asking you, Wes, directly.
If someone has the finances to buy a car on the first date, is that really love bombing? Well, on the
Yeah.
opposite party, they might not have the money. So like you could just be love bombing them and abusing your financial money
Yeah.
to love bomb them and be like, this is the reason why you should be with me.
Yeah, I think it's like an incentivized thing, like you're doing it because you're trying to
I think love
incentivize.
bombing is incentivizing.
Like, yeah, you're like
That's what it is.
like that love bombing, like buying someone like those lavish things, like that's crazy to me. Like you're it's like you're using your best bait to go fish and you're hoping to catch the best fish out there, but then you just catch like the smallest one. And then when you reel it in and you see that you just had the small fish, you're like, damn it, bro. Like I just spent my best bait and I caught a tiny ass fish. Like that's where that love bombing aspect is because you're expecting something in return. You're expecting that you throw this best thing out there and you're expecting that you're gonna get the best thing back.
Yeah.
That's really
Like
bad.
there are different levels of dating though. There are different levels of dating, but there's also different levels of chivalry.
Yeah.
Because I think it's chivalrous to open the door, obviously, and like maybe even buy them flowers.
Yeah.
But I think buying a car when you know that like the other person may not have like the best financial situation, I think that's just trying to buy them. Like that's just love bombing.
I want to bring
Yeah,
this out. Oh, go ahead, Lorme.
I was just like, you're trying to bribe them, and it's not like out of pure intentions.
Mm-hmm.
I want to bring this question up to the chat, and please, I would love for you guys to participate and respond to this question. But I also want Fierce and Lorme to give their perspective on this. Now, chivalry, is chivalry just supposed to be a man to a woman kind of thing? Can we talk about like non-genders and all other genders, like the LGBTQ community? Does chivalry exist in these aspects of those different communities? Or is it just a man or woman thing? Man to woman thing.
I think it differs. Like, everyone's different, but from me, like my mindset is like the polarity between masculinity and femininity, and everyone has both of those. Like even a guy can be more feminine. So I think depending on the relationship, like maybe one person might be more feminine and the other person might be more masculine, and in some way it kind of like balances things out.
Interesting. So I want to bring back that question earlier of like, okay, so let's say in a gay marriage or in a gay relationship, who is expected to be chivalrous to the person? What's up, Hans? Thanks for coming in. But yeah, fierce, Laura May. Who's to be expected to be chivalrous in that kind of relationship, like in a gay relationship? Who do you think should be expected to be chivalrous?
I mean, like I mentioned, everyone has masculine and feminine in them, and then if they're in a relationship, one person might be more masculine, and then other person might be more feminine. So I feel like um, if the more masculine person is more masculine, then they might be the one that's more chivalrous in a sense.
So
Um,
so you define chivalry based off of the masculinity. Like if someone is masculine, then that is someone that should be chivalrous towards people.
for me, yes.
Okay. Why? Can I ask why? Like to kind of go deeper into that. I just want to understand. Is it just because the root of it, like the tradition of what chivalry is supposed to be expected of men?
I would say yes. I'm like you, where I'm like more on the traditional side of things. So I would like to be with someone that is more on the masculine side. And like I mentioned earlier, someone who inspires me to be in my feminine. So,
Is it okay for like someone in that you get in a relationship with for them to be able to cry to you, to be able to
of
be soft?
course,
Okay.
of course, yeah.
Um, what if let's say there are certain aspects in that relationship later down that you learn about that person and you realize that they have like let's say mental disorders like let's say depression or anxiety that prevents them from doing things that are simple to other men but may be very difficult for the partner that you ended up getting with, but you only find this out when you get deeper into the relationship. You start to realize like wow, this person in my life who I chose to be my partner cannot actually fulfill what I want in a chivalrous man, but not because this partner of mine is not putting the effort, but it's because there are things restraining them from doing so, like mental disorders or like a health disorder. Do you think that's okay?
Yeah, I would think that's okay. You know, if I've been with that person and we built this relationship, um, I would want them to be able to trust me, to be able to come to me with those feelings, and I would be understanding of it, and I would want to be there for them to see like what I could do to help them to bring them back to who they are.
Interesting. So there
What if
were
you can't?
so there will always be an expectation of you to for that person to do something chivalrous for you. Like,
No, not all the time. Like, I mean, it's a relationship, you know.
no.
Yes, there's like that whole 50-50 thing, but I mean, if my person comes home and they're just like, "Hey, like I can't really do much. I'm like at 30%," then I would be willing to step up and give them like that 70%. It just goes back to being able to communicate about things and understanding where we are and being on the same page.
That's awesome. Someone actually responded to that and said that's being chivalrous too. Just actually being kind, just showing kindness and grace towards your partner, because of understanding that there are underlying conditions that prevent them from doing the things that you expect of them to do for you. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's really honorable. It's nice to be able to do, because sometimes us men, have our moments too. Like we have our moments where we can't put our 100% to everyone. Um, and not to say that women have it easy, because no, I'm a mama's boy and I will always believe that women have it way worse than men do, no matter what, in every aspect. We don't have Tom visiting us every month, so we never have to worry about Tom. Just we just have to worry about Elon and Tim and all the other names. But Tom is definitely an aspect of your guys' life since you guys were young. And if you don't know what Tom is, chat, I'm talking about time of the month. So that's the thing that men don't have to deal with, and all women do for many, many parts of their lives, as they get older as well. And someone in the chat has said, yes, it's not always 50-50. There are days when the partner is expected to give the partner to give more than they receive, and vice versa, which is amazing. I'm glad that everyone is agreeing in that aspect, because I totally agree in that.
What
I
about the aspect? It was in the chat earlier. I think the tradition of chivalry also expected something from women, not just men, which I agree on. Um, Women were expected to care for their men, their children, cook and such. That's not always the case. I would say there's a lot of babied women out there that like they're babied by their mom, they're babied by their dad, and they don't know how to cook. They don't know how to clean.
Yeah.
They have like zero like self-respect for their living.
Yeah.
So it's like, where's the chivalry in that?
I
But they still expect the guy to take care of them, open doors, all this other stuff.
there's this actually, man, I wish I could pull it up and maybe we could clip this later. This idea, so there's this TikTok video I saw of a woman that was explaining how her marriage is like and what she defines as a perfect marriage that she is in. She was explaining that like in her marriage with her man does not she does not do his laundry. She does not cook for him. She does not, care for him in any way. But she expects her man to always provide for her, to do the work, to go out there and make a living, take care of finances, to be able to provide food on the table, to be able to be able to shelter and care for their children. And then she even said something like, yeah, I never do anything for my husband because the husband should be doing more in the relationship anyways. And I'm here as a wife that gave birth to his child, but that's all I'll ever be, and I don't need to do anything in the house because he has to do his own shit. Like he has to clean his own things, he has to wash, do his own laundry, cook his own food because
Like birthing the baby was like, that's it.
yeah, and then she was like, just because he's the man, he has to do all those things for himself anyways. He can take care of it on his own. I don't need to do all that. I don't need to baby him.
Honestly, props to that guy. He's doing so much.
Yeah. Do you guys agree? Like chat, do you guys all agree to that too?
Is that considered abuse?
Is that crazy or is that like
He's okay with it, and he chose to be in that relationship, and he chose to want to marry her with knowing all of that. Then that's on him.
Maybe she wasn't like that though.
yeah, maybe she was first impression she was love bombing him and he loved the love bombing because that's his love language, and then all of a sudden she stopped all those things. Well, we don't know the background story of how their relationship was and how they got into the marriage, but it was crazy the narrative that she put out there, and like people's comments were like, yo, somebody save this man, like who is this man, and somebody like go find him because this sounds like a very abusive relationship or like a very toxic one. It's really crazy, and these are like women that are like actually telling, like commenting on it and saying like, yo, this is a very scary situation. This woman is literally not doing anything in her life. Like, what is she meant for? Like, why? But hello, chat from the Philippines. Hello. Thank you for joining. Why so serious? I'm not serious. I may look serious or sound serious, but I think I'm just really passionate into the topic right now. I'm like really deep in it. Yeah. Let's see what else. It's hard for both sexes. Different hard. Yes. And thank you for clarifying that because as much as I want to defend women out there and all that stuff, like yeah, I agree too. Like we go through hardships too. Like we have our own battles that we face because again, like for us men, there's so many expectations of us to be like these hard, tough, non-emotional people. We're not supposed to cry in front of people. We're not supposed to show emotion or weakness. So we have to always suppress our feelings and thoughts and all that stuff. And that's why, like, those jokes of like the girlfriends or the wives are like, oh man, my man is out with his boys. He must be cheating on me. But then like you see a clip of like all the boys just like being goofy and like just having the time of their lives because that's the moment that they can finally feel like it's okay for me to be who I am, which is just, sometimes I'm soft and sometimes I'm goofy. Sometimes I just want to be silly. And sometimes they can feel that way with their bros, right? So yes, I think men also go through their own hardships. Chad is saying relationship is meant to be two people serving each other and building something together. And I totally agree with that. Chivalry was a style of morality. The existence of the letter does or the latter does not invalidate the efforts of the former or the legitimacy of the belief system itself. I appreciate that. Yes, it totally makes sense. I guess in a layman's terms to explain that, it was just an idea that these are the expectations of what again, it was a knight thing. It was a noble thing that was created by hierarchy. The kings created these laws or these rules and policies that what knights, to become a knight, you have to follow these certain morals, like kind of like these guidelines. You have to be noble, you have to be honest, you have to be polite, you have to be kind, you have to serve the weak. That is what the chivalry definition was. But again, it doesn't invalidate the efforts of the former or the legitimacy of the belief system itself, meaning that the expectations of what women should do or the opposite partner doesn't mean it invalidates what they should be doing also, or like what they do for the other person, which is that, like, if they show kindness and care and support by whether it be means of like cooking or taking care of their kids or tending to the home because the man is not there at most times, vice versa, like all those things, like those are all very valid points. Yeah, and historically, chivalry was a code of ethics designed by warrior elites for warrior elites, alpha mindset. Yeah, it's that idea.
What about this? Like, how far is too far in the expectations of chivalry?
Oh, how far is too far in the expectations of chivalry? Does that is it like the expectations of women expecting to men, or are we going based off of like what I was saying earlier in terms of non-genders, non-binaries, whatever, in all forms, LGBTQ, every sort, everything, men, women, and every other sexes? Or are we just talking about the expectations of women to men?
Male, female, female to men.
Okay, so when is too far? When is it too far of expectations?
Like, how far? What is too nice? What is too kind? What does that look like?
What do you guys think, Fierce, Lorme?
Or is it just gonna be like, I'll just soak it all in. I'll just take it all.
I guess when like you're being babied too much.
Love
But
bomb.
people love being babied.
Yeah, it's nice being babied, but maybe too far if it's just like, oh, let me carry you so you don't have to walk. I don't know.
But what if there's a
But
flood?
that's cute in K-dramas.
The typhoon happened.
Of course you would bring up the K-drama.
The K dramas tell you that there's a typhoon and the man needs to carry you because you're gonna.
Slow-mo, and then it cuts to the credits with like flowers falling down on the screen for the next episode. Like,
Yeah.
come on. What is too far? What is something you would never ask a guy to do specifically?
Mm.
Like, would you really not want to like hop? Like, let's say, dude is like total bombshell.
Actually,
He's
yeah.
awesome. He's super nice. He's super kind. He's got money. He's buff. He's just a great guy overall. He's patient.
Can you actually define us your ideal man? Like, so we can understand like what is too much for you versus what is not too much. Like, it's not a dating show, guys. We're not here to understand what Laura May is expecting of a man. You guys back off. But we're just asking in that perspective to understand what chivalry is to her. Okay, so what is your ideal man?
Back off.
I can't do that. I can't give out the handbook to people.
Oh shoot. Okay, we're not.
See that there it goes.
Well,
there's
I don't
an
know.
expectation. We're supposed to read minds.
Chat. See.
No, I'm not asking you to read minds. I'm just, letting people
Oh
come
my
along.
But we can't understand what is too much in a woman's perspective because you are technically the only woman in our podcast aside from the people in the chat. I mean, someone who is a woman in the chat said yes, let's hear it because they want to understand like idea. I don't want to go and just keep asking chat. Like, this is a conversation with us too, technically. So okay, without
Yes,
giving enough for the men out there.
When they're
Like
too
the
much of,
basics.
a pushover, like when they're too much of a pushover, they don't have boundaries. They're willing to do like anything and everything.
But give
Let's
more
say you're
description.
broke down on the side of the road, and they offer, I'm gonna come pick you up, and they're in LA, let's say, and
Yeah.
you're in
Okay,
Northern
I would
California.
feel like, okay,
Is
I'd be
that
like,
doing
okay,
too much?
I would I would really appreciate that gesture, but then I'd be like, okay, yeah, that is a little bit too much because there's probably someone else that I can call. Like, don't do that, you know? Especially, I don't know if he's there for something really important. I'm not gonna expect him to just drop everything,
I
you
never
know?
wish ill will to anyone, but what if all your friends got COVID and that man is the only one that can go to you and he's all the way in LA though? He's like, I will
Yeah,
go
the
save you.
same goes with your friends though. The friends could have their own plans.
Yeah, what if your friends, what are you expecting your friends to save you now? But what if your friends are too busy for you?
No, I mean, if all of my friends had COVID and that was like my only option to be saved, then I'll be like, okay, like, you know, there's nothing else. Like, I feel like the one thing in life is just like, I don't want to be a burden to like anyone. So I would probably look for every other option I can. And if that was like the only option for me to be saved, then I'll be like, okay, then yes.
Okay.
Okay. So your limit of chivalry is not being a burden.
Like, yeah, when they're not burdensome, not just to you, but to themselves also. When they're not burdening themselves to the point where they're like, they know they're excessively trying to do something nice for you, but they, you know, in their power, they can't really fulfill that truthfully. Like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone was mentioning, someone from the
AAA would be faster.
yeah, Chivalry would be faster. Someone in the chat was explaining this in Tagalog, but I'm gonna translate it. If the man does almost everything in a relationship, let's say like in a marriage relationship, um, you know, I wish that going out with friends is not a problem to the wife because, you know, like I have a friend that goes through that and it's like it's always problematic for him to just have fun with his friends. And it's kind of abusive in some sense.
It's controlling.
Yeah, it's controlling and abusive in some sense. And like, it's like the guy can't even have fun with his friends anymore because it
Oh, we all have a
seems,
friend like that.
it seems very,
I'm not
yeah.
saying names.
Hi, Kate. Thank you for joining. We have been talking about chivalry. Is it dead? Please give your inputs if you think chivalry is
Oh.
dead. Yeah.
Too much when it goes to the point where you're disrespecting your own values to appear chivalrous.
Yeah.
So when you drop your values, basically,
yeah, when you
when you're
drop your values.
sacrificing your own values.
Explain a little bit more again, Lorme. I know you just mentioned like those tiny things, like what do you what is too far for you? Define like your ideal person that is like just like the right amount of chivalry. Actually,
The
can you define chivalry in your friendships, not just what you're seeking for in a man in a relationship? Can you define what is chivalrous in your friends, like what you see in the friends that you have in your life, and why that you consider them your good friends?
I think just someone that is like thoughtful and someone that understands like the way that my mind works and is like able to be considerate of my feelings, I would say.
Okay, is that boy chivalrous to you? Do you think that boy is chivalrous?
That
Boy.
boy.
That boy?
Yeah,
That boy.
he's a pal. He's a pal.
Oh, okay. Basil, you passed. You were a chivalrous man.
No,
Applaud to
he said
that.
pal. She didn't say
Oh,
chivalrous. She said pal.
dang. Well, you know what? I'm still gonna. I was gonna give you the. I was gonna give you this. Yeah, I was gonna give you that, but I think I might have to give you this, cause she said pal. So you got pal zoned, pal. But yeah. But there's nothing wrong with being a pal. That boy is for sure. But uh, Fierce, do you think chivalry should just be a man to a woman thing? What do you expect in like a chivalrous friend?
Like from a guy or a girl?
Well, like
Does
in
it
Fierce
matter?
perspective. In Fierce perspective, like yeah, what do you think, Fierce? In your perspective, sorry, let me open up some stuff here. There you go.
You're good.
But yeah, um, in your perspective, yeah, like what is a chivalrous friend to you?
It's pretty much honestly someone that like that helps, that like one of those like few friends that yeah, everybody always has those few friends that like you can always text or call and they're gonna answer. Like it's always the few that will wake up at 2 in the morning and they even know they have to go to work, but you'll still answer the call to help them if they need help.
I really appreciate that answer of yours. It's crazy. It's like you read my mind because I was waiting for someone to say that kind of definition. Let me give you a background, a little story. We have someone in the chat. Her name is Trixie L. I have known her since 2009. Um, this is my definition of chivalry in my relationship as a friend to her. I consider her to be a chivalrous person, not just the definition of that man to a woman thing, but she is a type of person that hands down is like that. I know for a fact that although we have not, had constant conversations throughout our lives, we come and go in both our lives. I know I can still count on her when one day I can send her a message and be like, "Hey, how's life? I see that you're thriving and you're married and you're enjoying your life with your kid now. But can I just ask if you can have an open ear because I'm going through it?" And I know Trixiel would be that kind of person that will back me up and just support me and be someone to listen. And I think that is a great way of defining chivalry in today's generation. And that's what I was kind of expecting or just wanting to hear from other people's perspective. That I don't believe chivalry is alive in the aspect of the expectation of a woman or a man to a woman. But I do believe chivalry is alive in all the different ways and different definition that we have. Even this demure thing, like being demure, like this TikTok trend that is going around, that is chivalry. Like to be kind, to be thoughtful, to be polite. Um, it's just a woman's way of saying chivalry. You know but I think that exists in this generation that we all can share that kindness to each other, to have good friends in our lives that we can trust and know that yeah, I have a good amount of people I can count in my hands and toes and even more, that will be able to be that chivalrous person. Very chivalrous, very demure. So it's an umbrella. What do you mean by that? Explain what do you mean by it's an umbrella. Um,
Jeremiah,
Hmm.
you still open doors for women, or do you just
Yeah.
open doors for the boys?
Right.
You just be a joke. Like
Huh?
Tricia, I was
boys
like,
are
wait,
the
who?
boys, you know what I'm saying? No, I was kidding. Yeah, I mean, I open doors for anybody.
Would
Like-
you let me, if you had a girlfriend, would you let me walk through first, or you'd be like, whoa, 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 hold up, hold up?
I'm telling you, you better step back, fool. Let the girl in first. I'll fight you. I will throw hands at you if you don't let your girl in first. All right.
I I don't believe it exists in me because I don't think I have the patience anymore. I think I shared this with you guys yesterday when kind of doing our meeting. I don't have the patience to be kind to people anymore because I feel like kindness goes a long way, but it is also dismissed. Like one time, and my partner was with me, I opened the door for this lady and just walks by. So I knew she wasn't gonna say thank you. So you know what I did? I interrupted her entrance. I interfered and I went through the door first and I was like, you know what? You're not gonna say thank you to me anyways, so you don't deserve to have the door open for you. Like I was like, no, and that's why I can't be chivalrous. I just lose my patience. It's just like because yeah, well, man, it just takes like a little thank you. At least like acknowledge that I did something nice to you. And it happens all the time. Oh. I was just reading the chat, but yeah, do you guys have any other thoughts about it? I mean, of course, like you could only say so much. This is great because we're hello Lily. Thank you for coming in. Oh, I don't know if you were in and out earlier, but we have 10 minutes left. This is a great way, a segue for us to hi, you're here again. Oh, you missed a lot. Well, I hope you can rewind back and listen to the podcast another time and see all our
Wow.
conversations about what we had. But do you guys have anything else to add on? This is a great way. We always chat. We are always trying to end this conversation by 9 p.m. We start at 7:30 every Thursdays. So I hope this was a really great conversation, and I really appreciate you guys so much for participating and sharing so much for that. I don't like when people open doors for me when I'm still too far from the door. That was actually
Yesterday.
we actually
Laura
talked
May
about
said
that
that
yesterday.
yesterday,
We
yeah.
actually said that yesterday too, men or women.
And then the random guy just like,
It's like
And I'm just like, okay, I'm sorry.
she's like she has to run. I think I agree with
But
that
then
too.
the door closes like right. It's like one of those slow closing doors. It's like closes right when they get to the door. And that's just like so
Yeah.
embarrassing. Like, let's say I don't open the door, right? Like, I'll open the door and I'll let it close because the other person's like too far away.
Yeah.
Then you get through the door and you see the person on the other
Yeah.
side door and it closes and they're right there at the door and you're just like,
Yeah.
I
Chat-
didn't open the door for you.
Chat was saying that's not chivalry, that's torture. When you have to run for it, because it's like yeah, then you just feel rushed to get through the door.
I feel like, okay, there's definitely a correlation going on here.
It's funny. There's another thing
There
too,
is,
another
there is.
experience where I opened the door for one person, but it just so happens another big group of people are coming behind that person. So now I have to hold the door for everyone, and it's just awkward because I don't want to open the door for everyone. I was only intending to open it for one person. I have to wait here and keep the door open, and it's like when is enough? Like for me, like when is enough? I don't want to hold the door for. I'm not a doorman. I'm not here to open doors for everyone. I was just trying to do kindness for one person.
I think at that point you just kind of like, go in and like hold it open and then wait for the next person to.
Yeah, you go in, you hold it open with like one arm, and then no grabbing.
No,
you
it's
Yeah,
the exiting part where like I'm exiting and I saw that there's someone behind me and I didn't notice all the 3,000 people behind me or behind that person following them. So I open the door, I keep the door open for that one person behind me, but then a whole group decides to follow through. So I'm like, yo, like I don't want to keep opening the door for everyone. Sometimes I
That's
like
not very demure of you.
it's not very thoughtful.
Not
so-
very
Nah,
mindful.
nah.
not very mindful. Sometimes I like to take over the door holding for them and then I let them go through. LOL. Oh yeah, like there's an awkward moment too where you're like, no, you go first. No,
Ah.
you go first. No, you go.
And then you gotta go all around the person. Like, door's here, you're here, and then the other. It's just
Ooh.
awkward.
I had-
You know what I'm saying?
I don't want to take this too far because I know this might go even further, but it's just a hot take someone had mentioned. One thing that has been a massive turn off for me is when women expect chivalry. Like, shouldn't it be earned? Like, shouldn't chivalry be earned? Well, if we go back in the
I think
history,
it should be earned, but also like it's a genuine thing.
the expectation I think is only bad when it's too high of an expectation, when it's too much high of a standard. Because
I think we already touched base on this, like
Yeah.
the whole like offering like to buy the freaking meal,
Yeah.
and then it's like the expectation is that I have a free dinner, I got free drinks.
yeah,
Like, why didn't he offer to get me a drink? Why didn't he buy my drink or something like that?
yeah. Random thing. Well, okay. Well, other forms of like being chivalrous, like sometimes it's annoying when I'm holding the door open and then a guy is trying to be a common gentleman and is like fighting me to hold the door open, and I'm like, I'm already holding it. LOL, just go. Yeah, that's like that argument where it's just like going back and forth because they're trying to be nice, and I think it's that's the part where it's like, okay, now you're being too nice. It's not really necessary at this moment. To me, because there are other ways of chivalry aside from just opening a door, and we touch based on this like throughout the whole conversation, but like paying for the meal. Let's go back to the paying the meal thing. Like in a relationship, for example, do you guys expect that the man should always pay for the bill? Like you're 3 years in the relationship, are you still expecting your partner, if you're a woman, to be expecting that your man should be always paying for the bill?
Me?
Well, I like in everyone's
I
perspective.
got a girlfriend.
Yeah, even in a like
I
yeah.
don't have a boyfriend.
No, but that's well, like in your guys' perspective as a
Hey,
man, like,
Bill.
is your girlfriend, for example, expecting that you should always be paying for the
No.
bill still? Yeah.
No, absolutely. I think it's definitely a 50-50. Like, hey, like I bought Starbucks for us this morning. Okay, like you got lunch, or like vice versa. I got lunch today. Okay, let me get Starbucks for us.
Yeah.
Very much a trade-off. Maybe it's not like even. Like obviously Starbucks is way cheaper than a whole ass meal, but like
Yeah.
it's still the voluntary respect.
Yeah. We
Like, hey, I got money, you got money, we can take care of each
Yeah.
other. It's okay.
my girlfriend and I are the same, but we have like this other added kind of like unspoken rule in our relationship where it's like, yeah, we take turns for paying for the meal or whatever, but there is an expectation too, because we know that like that although she is working and all that stuff, like I have a higher means in my financial stability, so that there are certain things where I'll tell her like Venmo me for that still, because I want to pay more than you in this situation. Um, and even though we had agreed that I already paid for this bill, like still Venmo me for whatever other things that you should do. Venmo me, please. Yeah. I accept my Venmo request. Yeah, that's what she, um,
Chat. Here's my Venmo.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, thank you guys. We might even like he got like 12 Venmo requests. I'm getting called out. I'm getting called out. Yeah, I got 12 Venmo requests from
12
like a
Venmo
month ago.
requests for you
From a
to
month
pay.
ago. Yeah, that I have to pay apparently.
Come
But
on, man. You got financial stability.
I know, right? We might have to end this conversation early. Oh, my husband and I take turns. Yeah, that's great. Like, see, like that and that aspect is always nice. That's really a great thing, especially like with the conversations of like, okay, where's the balance and things. But in
Can I add something real quick?
conclusion, what we got out
Can I-
of this whole
wait, wait, wait.
conversation. Oh yeah, go ahead, Pierce.
I want to add one thing real quick. So
Yes.
I think in that situation, like taking turns, I feel like there's also the chivalry, the courtesy, and nice is like, you know, you don't have to pay. Like okay, I paid for this, but like for me, I'm something like being really nice and like, no, I'll pay for this too. I got you. Don't worry about it. Like when I was with Wes, you know, I bought us dinner. I was like, hey Wes, I'm gonna buy us dinner when I go over. Let's do it. You know, like I didn't ask him to pay me money. It's more like. But like, I'll buy us food. That's exactly what did not happen when it happened.
Well, in this aspect, like so even like Trix was saying, I attempted to pay on our first date with my husband, but the cashier took his card. I then paid for the drinks when we went to a bar. That's a really good one. And gentle.
Hey, on first date too?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great. That's like an adult right there.
Like my friends and my partner knows like I'm just the type of person. My thought of it is not about chivalry or just being kind to my friends or like whatever. I just always in my heart feel indebted to my friends because I am all that I have met. That's like my saying in my life. So I feel like I owe so much from my friends, and the only thing that I can do is acts of service and gift giving. But like my partner and all my friends know this, that like I will do whatever it takes if we were to go out to a restaurant, and especially if I'm the one that sent the invitation to go out to eat. Guaranteed I will find a way to just like take care of the bill, because I don't like the idea at the end where it gets very awkward. We're like, okay, so what did you guys eat? What are you guys gonna Venmo me? How are we gonna split the bill? And having to ask the waiter, like, can you guys take multiple cards and all that stuff? I hate that conversation. I want the entire dinner and the invitation of having fun with friends to just be seamless and like
Yeah, it
like
always comes down to finances.
without that thought. And it's not like card roulette. My friends and I used to do that. We would do card roulette.
did that
We'll
before.
literally like go and we'll even have the waiter pick the card that they want to pay for the thing, and we'll do something like that to just have can we all have a beer one day? Yes, please. Actually, if you would like to join us next Thursday in person, we're gonna do an IRL. So this is a great segue to end this chat. But that boy, we know who you are, so please come join us if you are willing to. You guys, maybe you and Lauren could maybe carpool if you're interested too. But next week, chat, we are going to talk about, the next topic is kind of in a segue of chivalry, but the opposite side. When is something just too much and too uncomfortable? When is unsolicited kindness ever experienced as a man and a woman? And we will be having this conversation actually at the dinner table here at my place. We're going to do an IRL podcast Transparency Thursday stream. So look out for that. We are all going to finally be in one place, one camera, 3 mics. That's kind of nasty. One camera, 3 mics. If you know what I'm saying. reference. But please come, that boy, come join Lorme if you're willing to. There's definitely gonna be maybe some wine, some champagne. We have a lot of leftover bottles here, unopened. Obviously, we're never gonna make you guys drink things that are already opened and used. But we have a lot of wine, some champagne that we would love to open up because we don't want it to go to waste. So please join us next week on that conversation chat. We would love to take a toast. Also, in celebration of the partnership that we have here in Transparency Thursdays, I just wanted to give back to the rest of my team for everything they've done for me and for us in this podcast. I know we recently just had Laura May join us officially, but I'm very thankful for everyone being able to put their perspective on the topics that we share together and have these conversations. Every night or every Thursday night has always been fun for us because of you, chat, as well. So we want to, I think this might actually be 6 months into the podcast, so this might be a great
I
6
can
month
check that.
celebration. So, okay, we're all going to dinner with Cyrus. He pays. Hey, you know what? If that comes down to it, if you're willing to fly from Australia, Philippines, I would be happy to see you here. And I will take care of you guys, as I should. But thank you guys so much for joining us in this conversation. Is chivalry dead? And then in conclusion, yes and no. It does exist and it doesn't exist in many different ways. In all genders, non-genders, non-binary, all the parts of everything in all sexuality, it exists in our lives in many ways, not in the very traditional aspects, let's say, but in many ways because it's very demure, it's very thoughtful, very kind, very nice, mindful. So thank you for participating. Thank you for sharing your thoughts, chat. Thank you for always being a part of our conversations. And we hope one day this will be like, it's already getting there. Like we're having like 30 plus people coming in. Today in total, we had about 45 people who come and watch and join and participate in all the different platforms that we're utilizing in it. So we really appreciate you guys for participating in it. And we'll see you guys next week. IRL stream, Transparency Thursday podcast. When is enough? What is it? When enough is enough. Yeah.
When enough is enough.
When enough is enough. But
when does chivalry go too far?
Yeah. See you guys. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you. Here's the outro song. Peace out, everybody. Let me end this real quick. So many people today. Hold on, let me end this now. See you guys. Peace out.